Alright, so I'm going to be freestyling this one out. My mom's husband, Bill, she called me at about 12 o'clock and told me that she found him on the ground. You know, he must have had a heart attack and he fell over, and, she called me and told me this, and it just got me pretty down and out, because the last couple days have kind of been, I was kind of having my high moments for about a month and a half or so there, and the last couple days just been kind of, and then today was just one of them days where I was just kind of angry all day. I just felt off all day, and I usually don't get calls from my mom, so I knew when she called that late and then I heard her voice, I knew something was wrong right when I heard her. But it's like, it's just so eerie and awkward, It's just out of left field. It's out of nowhere. And we were, my mom and us, we were telling him about, what was going on with him, because he must have had congestive heart failure. So we were telling him about it. We were telling him to go to the doctors, and I don't like going to the doctors either, but we were telling him to go do it. And, he just didn't want to do it. And that's how he lived. And it's just another reminder to just say how light, how short life is, and how any moment, any one of us, we can be here and then we're gone forever. And I don't like to make it this depressing thing. I don't like to make it this kind of thing where we're building up stress and it's a bad video or making anybody think too much, but it's just how I am. Every time somebody dies that I know or I knew, I can't help but to think about it, because I cared for them. I cared that they were alive. I cared that they were here, that they were breathing, talking, living. And now I know he's gone forever. I'm not going to see him no more. When I go down there to my appointments, I go and see him and my mom, and I talk, somewhat. I don't talk with him too much, but, I knew him. And, I'm on the phone with my mom, and she don't deal with this kind of stuff good either. I'm not down with the whole, even though it's bad that people die, I'm not down with the whole funeral thing and going to viewings and all that stuff. I can't stand it. It's just not for me. I don't like the way the Western world deals with it. I like the way the Eastern world deals with it. They celebrate, they do it a different way. It's just a different feeling. There's just a different groove to it. I can't explain it. If you ever watch Osho, watch Osho's death video, where when he dies, he says, "When I'm dead, don't cry, take me to the burning gallows and celebrate." And I think the Western world, we have this view of death that is, and even I'm still in that, it's like, I really don't want to cry for people when they're dead, because they're not suffering anymore. They're not alive anymore. They don't have to go through anything anymore. But the living have to remember. You know what I'm saying? The living have to remember. And I don't know. I just wanted to do a video for him, because he was a good guy. He was cool. He was Bill. He was who he was. He was a person. He was here. And I don't know. It's just life is a very, very weird phenomenon. It's just the more that I live and the more that I go through this life, the more I just say, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I really don't want to start talking about it, because then I'll start worrying and I'll start stressing and I'll start asking questions and kind of driving myself a little nuts. And I don't want to do that, because it's going to come. Death is going to come to every single one of us. I'm going to die. Whoever's watching this, you're going to die. My grandparents, they're really old right now. I know sooner or later I'm going to be getting a call with them that they're dead. And then my cousin, Terry, he was just in the hospital. He almost just died. My Aunt Debbie almost just died. I had 3 overdose deaths in my family. It's like this death stuff. It's not something that I would have. If someone would have said, you can live a life of joy and you will have some days where you might suffer and go through some pain, I can deal with that for myself. But knowing that things had to happen to people, and I really say, was this necessary? What are we doing here? What am I doing here every day? Why am I doing videos? Why am I speaking? Why am I sitting out here? Why am I going to the store right now when I get off this video and getting milk and water? Why am I going to sleep? Why am I waking up? Why do I have to, I'm going to call my mom tomorrow and probably go down there. Why am I going to do that? Why am I going to do the next step and the next step and the next step? And this is, I'm saying this now because I'm kind of feeling awkward and kind of weird now because this just happened, but I know I will have better days. I will have better days, but it's like, when you just think of it and you just ask yourself the mystery of how this came together and how this came to be, and if there is or there isn't something that possibly put this into action or did this, it just, you can't wrap your mind around it. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do. And that not knowing, it's a two-way thing. That mystery, I already said this before, that mystery keeps me going, but at the same time, it kind of gets me in these ways that are not good for my health, that are not good for me, because I start thinking and I don't have the answers. And it's like, okay, Nate, stop asking yourself these questions that you have no control over. You have no control over that Bill died today, that he died hours ago. He died earlier in the day on June 30th. Today's the July 1st, 2020. He died at around 12 or 1 o'clock or something. My mom didn't get home till like 8 o'clock, so he was laying on the ground for a while there, and he must have had a heart attack and he fell over. And it's just, when I hear this, it's like, yeah, these things happen, but it's like, I was just talking to him. He was just there. I just seen him a little bit ago. Now he's dead. And just thinking about it, I was really upset a little bit ago, and I still get upset, but I shouldn't. I shouldn't get upset, because all of us are going to have to die one day. And that's what I mean. I've been in this process lately where I've been kind of forcing myself to deal with this. I've been forcing myself to take a brutal, honest look at this existence and my life and everything around me and people and human nature and why we do the things we do and how this came to be and why this, why that. And yes, I do drive myself kind of batty sometimes. But then at the same time, it helps sometimes for me to get through, and then other times it's just like you gotta accept things and just let it be and let it go. And that's hard for us to do because we get attached to people. We get attached to things. We build these relationships to people, and we get to know people, and we do all these things, and it's like, you know that they're gonna end one day. And that's why I say, sometimes I feel like I've been played by this existence. Sometimes I feel like it's, I don't know. I don't want to dig a hole here for myself, but sometimes it just feels like a game. It feels like I've been played. It feels like I've been duped, you know? Like, I was born to be a little kid and then have fun and then explore, and then you're a teenager and you feel great, and you're in your 20s and you feel okay. Well, my 20s was pretty bad. And then when you're in your 30s like me, 36 years old, you're like, okay, we came into this world and I know I'm heading for the grave. So what am I doing? What am I really doing? Like, what? That's why I did my video the other day. I could talk about a lot of stuff, but it's like, really, it's words and noise. It's just, we're going about every day, we're going about our lives doing the same things. And that's why I just say, enjoy the small things if you can. Enjoy yourself as much as you can without causing pain or anything to another person. And that's really all we can do. It's like, what else can we do here? There's no point to prove. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to get. There's no reason for me to think that I can win a game that's not winnable. You know, but I don't want that to get me depressed, though. I don't want that to get me all messed up in my life. I don't want that to bring me back down into a place where I'm just going to be living horribly and going through what I went through a little while ago, you know, because it's so easy to go back to those places. It's so easy to just say, I give up. I don't care about anything. I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm just done. And that's how I felt for the last couple of days. I got back in that attitude where I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I'm just completely giving up. Now, I would say there's bugs out here. There's like a roach crawling around here and another bug, so that's why I jumped like that. But I just say to myself, like, I don't want to feel that way, but at the same time, I got to be real with myself here. I can't hold on to this stuff. It's like, you don't want to talk about it, because I'm this type of person, if I start talking about those things, my mind will start believing them. My mind will start convincing me that what I'm speaking about is real. And I know that it's not. I know that it's not. It's just for a time. It's just a period. But at the same time, I gotta really watch what I'm saying. But sometimes I need to say these things to get it off my chest. But then I say, okay, don't take it too far, because I know how bad shit can get. I know how bad drug addiction can get. I know how bad it can get with people dying in your family that you actually cared for. I know how, you can lose everything. I know this. I went through it a couple times in my life, and it's not fun. But that reminds me of where I never want to go again. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit here because it's just so out of left field. It's like out of nowhere. And it's like, what can you say? I can sit here and talk, and I can talk, and I can talk, and yeah, even though it's getting something off my chest, even though it might make me feel a bit better, and now that I was talking with my mom for over an hour on the phone, and I cried and did all that, yeah, it's over now. And really nothing has changed, but I still feel bad that happened, and I'm like, I don't know. Existence is a strange thing. Sometimes it's a great thing. Sometimes it's not a great thing. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes you're suffering. Sometimes you're feeling okay. It just all depends. But I guess you can't think of it too much, because if you start thinking about it too much, like I said, you'll drive yourself batty, and you'll just get in a bad place again. So what can you do about it, I talk about letting go. Well, this is when I need to put it in practice. You just gotta let it go. And it's not easy all the time. But before I got off of the phone with my mom, she said something about, yeah, we should stop talking about this. I said, yeah, you're right. Stop talking about it, because it ain't going to do nothing but make it worse the more you talk about it. But you got to talk about it, though. See, that's the conundrum in this. That's the conundrum with this whole thing with death and dealing with it. And when things happen, you got to talk about it. You got to get it off your chest. You got to speak about it. You got to talk about what you're feeling and what you're going through, and you got to express it. But then at the same time, you can't overdo it. And this is just kind of like another compulsion. It's kind of like we're obsessed with feeling sorry for things when really we don't have any control over anything. We're so powerless here. We're so powerless. And even though I would say give up with certain things, if you just completely give up, then that's not a good thing either. So what can you really do? That's why I always say about, if you're whatever you're doing in life, just take a baby step. Just so that you can get by. If you're feeling so down and out, speak about it. That's all you can do, is talk about stuff. There is no remedy. There isn't always a solution to everything. And sometimes it's just these little tiny things that we do in life that gets us by. Because we're all the same at the end of the day. We're different in a lot of ways, but reality, we're all the same. We're all flesh, blood, and bone. We all bleed. We all need water. We all need food. It's the same thing with every person. There's nothing different. The only thing that's different is the way we talk, the way we think, the things we do, how we sound. Those things are different, yes. But everything else, there's nothing different. It's all the same. So I don't know. I'm going to end it with this. Sometimes I do kind of want there to be something else other than this. But then sometimes I say to myself, what does it matter if there isn't? Because once I'm gone, I'm gone. I'm not going to be thinking about any of this anyway. So while I'm here, let me make the best of it. Let me do what I enjoy. Let me try to make a living for myself in an honest way. Let me be as honest as I can possibly be with myself. Because I'm the only one that can be honest with myself. I can't be honest for people out there. I can only be honest for me at the end of the day. And I feel like we're in a world today where a lot of people, it's almost set up to where a lot of people, we're constantly lying to ourselves. We're not really being honest with ourselves with things. And then we don't face things. And then we don't talk about things. And we don't get kind of close to the root of things. I know you can't get to the root of things. There is no getting to the root of something in life. I understand this now. There's always going to be chaos. There's always going to be death. There's always going to be sorrow and joy. There's always going to be pain and feel good things. There's no way around the conundrum. There's no way around the contradiction. There's no way around what we're trying to escape. So we might as well face this. You know, if we know that we're heading to the grave, how can we do it as graceful and, I forget the other word, as with as much dignity as possible? How can we go out with as much dignity and grace as possible before we go? Because really, we're all losing. We're all losing here. Nobody's winning. There is no winners here. You know, let's be honest here. We're all losing. It's all going downhill, you know? And I think if we could be honest with ourselves, it would be a more graceful approach with more dignity. That's how I see it. Instead of lying to ourselves and acting like it's not what it really is. You know, we're acting like we're not heading towards the grave. We're acting like we're not heading towards death, you know? And I think this is the problem with a lot of us, is that we don't face things in life. We're not being honest with ourselves. And we're not really exposing what we have to, so that we don't go through certain things in life. And that's why we keep holding on to all this stuff. And it's just, you know, it's constant chaos. It doesn't stop. So how can I do the best in the chaos? How can I stay away from the things that I don't need to be around? And how can I associate myself with the things that I may need at that time? That's all that matters. All that matters is your needs and having something to keep yourself so that you don't go insane or go nuts. That's all. So for everyone out there, be well. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know anything. Like I said, I'm just freestyling this thing out. I have no plan. I have no agenda. I have nothing going on. But be well and treat yourself right. Treat yourself right. Because the world is cold. The universe is a cold, harsh place. It doesn't care. But at least we have the ability to care while we're here. At least we have the ability to do what other things can't do. You know what I'm saying? So be well. Don't dive into the depths of hell. And don't think that you're in heaven. Because that's when we trick and fool ourselves.